Hello everyone, Rituro here with another episode of My Life in Silver League. This is against a level 36 Silver Leaguer by the name of Jimmy Bull from Clan Pumpkin. Alrighty then, we're on Frost Ellie, one of my favorites of the current 2014 season. If I remember correctly, it will be one of the ones that is returning for next season. Hopefully that is the case. As I said, it is one of my favorites. Oh, that's a nice looking pumpkin right there. Oh, custom clan icons, you are indeed most wonderful. So this is going to be a TVT, Jimmy Bull in the top right-hand corner as Terran, me in the bottom left-hand corner as the blue Terran. Let's just speed things right along here to the good stuff. This is an early scout here from Jimmy, actually. Let's go ahead and slow this right down. His SCV is taking a nice cross-spawn scout right away. He will find me, no doubt. And these replays are actually, or I say these, I mean this and the next batch that I'll be casting and putting up line in short order are all from mid to late March, so some of these I'm actually not quite sure how they turned out, which is great. It'll be a surprise for all of us. Jimmy Bull with the quick scout here. He will go after the SCV, but that should prompt some SCVs off the line, or at least a scare off there. And sure enough, here they come to get rid of Jimmy Bull's SCVs. Actually, I have stopped production completely to scare off Jimmy Bull, so good job for him to disrupt my economy. Both of us actually doing a little bit of nothing here, though I have finally got my SCVs back up running and barracks. After all that, I end up getting my barracks up just slightly ahead of Jimmy Bull's. So there you go, though he's queued up looks like he's going to be queuing up a back to work on the mines, and then finery's on the way as well. So there you go. I'm working on my next supply depot as well here, which actually that is just a standard wall off while I go and scout. Now, with that early scout, I think what I was looking for here was anything proxy. When I see an SCV that early, my first thought is, okay, he's going to be trying some sort of fancy rush, but nope, nothing early on that front, and a quick little scout by Jimmy Bull as well shows that there's nothing down there. And he is back to work full gas, no orbital though. No, oh, because his barracks isn't done yet, that would probably be why. And that should be the barracks are just completing now. Is the no, he goes for the SCV instead of the orbital. I, however, do get my orbital up right away, and now starting up with gas, focusing purely on minerals to get supply depots, get barracks, get marines, get all that core stuff on the field. There's the orbital from Jimmy Bull. Both of us at 15 supply right now. So at least as far as the supply timing is concerned, this is identical orbital timing, but on an actual game time, slight advantage for me, which is great. Oh, there's the reactor from Jimmy. Opts to go for the reactor before any defensive troops. Does have his first part of the wall off done. Still looking at the other side. Meanwhile, I am scouting the closest stuff to me. Not going to find him there. But the wall off is complete. 2 marines on the field, 3rd on the way. Second barracks is almost done. And a 3rd barracks now coming in as well, because 2 good barracks deserves a 3rd. One lesson that I try to remember as I continue playing these matches in Silver League is to keep my production facilities as full as possible. Meanwhile, Jimmy Bull is starting his expansion, going for the expansion very quickly here. 4-minute expansion timing, as he's going with this. That probably be flown off from the main base, but no wall-ins, so that might hurt, and certainly it probably will, because here comes the scout from the bottom right-hand side of the map. It's going to see a bunker being put up, not really guarding anything, run right past the Marines. We're on the move command. Will he manage to get up top before he's shot? Yes, he will. Yes, if he will survive, he will get a scout off here. He will, hopefully, and there it is. Sees everything that's going on, sees only one gas, sees all the SCVs, and then sees no more.
SCV ready.
But meanwhile, Jimmy Bull is bringing out Marines 2 at a time here from the reactor. But having seen all that and having seen the bunker, that's for me to send out a little expeditionary force here. Tech lab coming up, 2nd tech lab I should say, coming up on the 3rd barracks. And there is a reactor for barracks number 3. So 2 tech labs, 1 reactor, decent production facilities. Meanwhile, Jimmy Bull's going straight for factory. Not wasting any time getting up that tech tree. There's the supply depot to complete the wall in. And there is the liftoff on the command center. That will be the expansion for Jimmy Bull. Back at my base, I'm actually building right at the expansion. So there we go, wasting no time there. Meanwhile, the Marines are scouting up here. Meanwhile, his own Marine scout coming down the middle here. 2 Marines for Jimmy Bull. As the pocket of Marines that I have here, looking for any weird expansions, any 3rds, nothing being taken yet. And meanwhile, it looks like we do have combat shields and stim packs coming up one right after another, so excellent there. Meanwhile, the orbital happening at the expansion for Jimmy Bull, getting that economy right on track. Also mining gas from the second base. Does he have full saturation on gas? No, he hasn't even started his gas yet, though he does have an engineering bay on the way, which is good for him. And a starport, going for that Destiny Cloud Fist build. Barracks, factory, starport, and there is combat here as the Marines, having spotted this fully entrenched situation, are going after the rocks. They decide, okay, we're just going to go ahead and back right on out. Enough of that nonsense. However, Marauders are on the way now, back at the main as well as Marines, so plenty of units being pumped out here. Decent amount of resources being floated, could be spending those a little bit faster, certainly could be having an orbital put up. There's enough money to do so, but I think, there it is, there's the orbital. Only briefly forgotten that I was building second bunker on the way here. Keeping an eye on his base is Jimmy Bull. And he also has his first siege tank on the way, as he has a reactor going on the starport, 2 more barracks on the way, and a missile turret. He's looking out for drops. Good idea there, though. I think I'm still on 3 barracks, no factories, no starports. So nothing much to worry about there, but full saturation at the first base. Quick look at the income tab here. Despite having 2 bases, I'm actually, or 2 bases for longer than I did, I'm actually outdoing Jimmy Bull here efficiency-wise, so that's the mules are certainly helping at that point. That's not good for Jimmy Bull. He's got to make better use of his resources. They were both equal on supplies here, 52 each, now at 54 each. There's Jimmy Bull trying to alleviate his supply cap there with some clutch building there. Those SCVs are holding minerals. We've got to get those dropped off. We've got some shells almost done here, so tech is looking pretty good. There is a factory almost done. There's the queued up supply depot. And the army now, when you're up against supply block, well, what else do you but you waddle out and you forcibly reacquire some supply. Looks like the missile turrets are done at Jimmy Bull's northern half of his base. As the units here doing some decent scouting here, checking for bases, checking for any weird proxy. Not really finding anything, though. There is a sensor tower. Oh, he's even dropped a supply depot, supply up. What is the official name of that? Extra supplies. There we go. Calling them extra supplies on his supply depot. Gutsy play, but he does have medevacs on the way from his reactor starport. They will be arriving just as the expeditionary force arrives, which is not going to be good, but they go straight for those rocks again, trying to bait out a fight. They want to say, hey, you know we're here, we know you know we're here, we're just going to go ahead and attack you anyway. And that should be the end of those rocks. That will open up this ramp for fighting, which is not going to do what Jimmy Bull wants, but he does have his own siege tank on the high ground. That's not going to be a fun walk up the hill, and sure enough, the units decided they're just going to go ahead and get out of there. Now, a quick look here. Level 1 weapons on the way here for Jimmy Bull. Does he have any tech? He has no tech, no stim, no shields, no shells. SSS. And that's his 3rd command center on the way, so he is getting ready to macro up for his 3rd base. Meanwhile, the units are backing out and having another look around to see what else is going on. No other bases yet. And a large mob of troops waiting back at the natural. But now we see a massive amount of starports here. 2 in construction, another 2 queued up. 2nd engineering bay on the way. Level 1 weapons also on the way. Tech lab on the factory. Are there any tanks on the field? Click the units tab here. It is 10 Marauders and 19 Marines against 20 Marines and 2 siege tanks. Well, if they can get a good wall in, as he's doing here, you gotta like the siege tank being, and the medevacs, sorry, 3 medevacs, can't discount them, being able to hold off any sort of frontal assault. So it looks like some air power is going to be needed here sooner than later. There is a 3rd base for me going up directly at the site. Jimmy Bull flying his 3rd base on over, and he is well above supply gap situation here. Has gone ahead and made excellent use of supply. Or I should say, has an excellent job of opening up supply. Hasn't used it just yet. Meanwhile, I am still trying to alleviate, or at least not hit supply block. We do have units on the way, including tanks, but that is going to put me in a supply block, so I would imagine, yeah, there we go. Missile turrets being queued up, supply depots being queued up, another engineering bay being queued up. Look at all those SCVs quickly working away. 2 tech labs on the field, 1 reactor on the way. I imagine we'll be seeing another reactor or tech lab, and sure enough, there is a reactor. Meanwhile, this little expedition force blocking that low-level expansion. However, the 3rd base has flown off to the far side. It is now becoming a planetary fortress with missile turrets. Jimmy Bull is in this for the long haul. This is a macro game, and here comes the cloaking field from the tech labs. And sure enough, Banshees. When you see siege tanks, go Banshee. Smoothies. Smoothies are the fuel. Meanwhile, back at Jimmy Bull's base, he's got his armory on the way. Planetary's almost done. His level 1 armor is now on the way at the engineering base, which is good. He's going to need some upgrades on those units, because he's been focusing so heavily on just pure reactor and getting the Marines out. There is his 4th barracks now done. Does he go tech lab? Does he go reactor? Meanwhile, more upgrades for me. I've got the high-sec auto-tracking on the way to try and detect any drops. There's a scan coming down, and it is going to be... There it is. It's a scan by me, actually, and sure enough, I find that he is at that 3rd base. Missile turret is there. Siege tank is there. 3 bunkers coming down. Jimmy Bull is turtling up for the long haul. This is a macro hold. But the problem is, that's not going to help him out if it can be intercepted. But let's see here. There's another Banshee on the way. 2 Banshees now. 3rd one is on the way. 4 medevacs, 2 siege tanks. This is a decent looking army, plus what's already holding the Zilnaga Tower, plus what's over at the expansion here. Only down to 3. I'm guessing some may have been destroyed? Quite possibly. Let's look at the units lost tab here. Yes, some units have been lost. That would also include the SCV that was lost during scouting. Looking at the quick units tab here, I do have a worker advantage. Medevac advantage goes to Jimmy, but only the 4 siege tanks and a pile of Marines. Those Banshees take care of the siege tanks, and then those Marines are going to be in trouble with the heavy Marauders. And with Stim, Stim is finally on the way for Jimmy Bull, as he does indeed have a tech lab on his 4th barracks. But he's going to be behind. If a Stim engagement happens, it's going to be all me. And supplies, once again, 137, 137. Quick look at the supplies here. Army supply does favor Jimmy Bull, but the worker supply is favoring me, which is going to be good. And Corvid reactors are on the way for that extra Raven energy, which I assume means at some point I built a Raven. Not seeing it yet, probably owing to the intense supply block. We can see supply depots are being queued up one after another to try and alleviate that. Workers have been transferred down to the new 3rd base, as Natural is fully optimally mining here. 16 on minerals, 6 on gas. As now Vikings are on the way to go after those medevacs and another siege tank for the ground assault and Marines, because why not? You've got the supply, just pump them out. More Marines. Finally, Marauders are seen in the field. 5 Marauders in queue for Jimmy Bull. He wants the big kaboom, baby. And oh, it's going to be a doom drop. Look at this, loading up the medevacs, going for the drop. This is what Jimmy Bull wanted. He wanted macro so he could get the drops ready, as he puts all his defensive might around this 3rd base. Oh, this is a lot of units committed to defense here. In case this doom drop goes sideways, he does have, it looks like, plenty of troops at home to keep everything well situated. Siege tanks, Marines. This is a good looking drop. There's a Marauder joining the party. Out goes a little scouting force. Meanwhile, the army is gone back out to see if it can find any proxies, as they come out. Oh, a sneaky 4th base going off in the bottom right hand corner as the scouts continue to look for any weird proxies. But Jimmy Bull's got the same idea now, and he is sticking at the tower where once was an army. As there goes the doom drop. Does he know? He does not know about this base, but he's going in the right direction. This is a great move by Jimmy Bull. He's going to find this hidden base purely by chance, as he works on his level 2 weapons and level 1 armor, or level 2 armor, level 1 mech weapons. Oh, he does find it. There's a good scout there. He does not unload. There he goes. There's an unload. It'll be just a quick scout force, as my own scouts, oh, they've moved the wrong way. Oh, I assume they're on some sort of queued up command here, and they probably are. And that's going to be the end of this expansion. There goes the SCV. And that's going to force cancel. Meanwhile, the Doom Drop comes into the 3rd, runs right into it. Oh, it's a good move there by the Mr. taking down the medevac, destroying some of the troops within. There's a Stim. The siege tanks are there, but here comes the army into the cloak of the Banshees. That is not going to end well for Jimmy Bull, as his army, now split, is in all kinds of trouble, mopped up completely. An aborted Doom Drop, as my army comes right back and says, hey, no. One Marine here checking out to see if there are any expansions. These units have not moved. Oh, a Fusion Core on the way for Jimmy Bull. He is going up for the big tech. As I bring out another siege tank to mass on the ground. Tons of resources being floated here. I imagine because I'm doing some sort of army movement. Sure enough, there it is. Oh, down goes a full medevac. The Vikings with the huge play, and Jimmy Bull is in all kinds of trouble now. There went his main army, as now money is being spent madly on repopulating that side of the map. Out comes the siege tank now to try and join the party. As, oh, this is 37 workers. Jimmy Bull, buddy, you've overloaded. You have completely overloaded. But then again, the main is, I don't think this is intentional, because his main has plenty of minerals on it, but he's just completely abandoned it. His natural still has plenty of people in it. I'm guessing this is a mistake. 42 workers now on his third base as the army goes and patrols. I don't think this was intentional by Jimmy Bull, but he is going with it. Here comes a big burly scout coming down to the watchtower. He will just miss seeing the siege tank. That would have been unfortunate. But this giant ball of army, there is a Raven finally joining the team. And that is a scary amount of dudes. His building armor's on the way, infernal pre-igniters on the way, Caduceus reactor and durable materials. So all the tech, all the time, all the buildings. 2 armories are on the way now. There are some huge scans coming down. It looks like they are scans, I'm guessing, by Jimmy Bull. And having been satisfied that he sees nothing, here comes the army. Oh, but he does see this. That's not good news. That's a big army. You scouts, you might want to turn around there. Oh, but the army is coming home. The army is coming home. Oh, but did they scout this? Is this what he found? Is this what he found? No, he did not know that's there, but he's probably checking all the same. Meanwhile, that poor Marine is just toast. And the scouts are like, oh, we better get out of here. We better get out of here right now. And sure enough, they will. But they do turn and they will stim. This is not the best decision here. They do get 1 Banshee for their troubles. Not exactly cost effective. And these scouts are just like, okay, we're getting out of here now. They are going to stim to try and get home in a hurry. Oh, but they will indeed catch this command center. Attempted sneaky expansion is intercepted again. It will lift off and try and draw the army away from the buildings. Oh, but unfortunately the Marauder has seen it. No such luck. And instead the army, part ground, part air, will move out en masse. And despite the command center's best attempts to flee, that will be it. This little army is going to stim again for what little it's worth. They will take down a Banshee, but the Banshee's kicking up everything else. And the one Marauder, oh, will he be spared? I think he'll be spared. He's very, very still and very, very spared. As Jimmy Bull, who is now attempting to massively get his numbers back up, is going with Vikings. He's got Marauders. He's getting his level 1 ship weapons there. Ah, but Thors are on the way. I've got Mass Thor queued up with my piles of money that I can't spend fast enough. Which I believe is typically a sign that I need more production facilities, but there they are. Mass Viking scaring off the mixed army. And over the water is a good position for them to be, or the cliffs, I guess, because then the Marines cannot be brought to bear. But they target the Raven. Wrong person to target. Go after a Banshee, and meanwhile, because of their focused fire, it actually allows my Vikings to get in many good shots. There's a big stim in the Marines, able to go toe-to-toe with help from my own Vikings, and there are the Marines mopping it up. It's not going to be a decent return, as 3 Vikings do intercept the trailing medevac, but at the cost of the rest of them, those Vikings are heavily injured. And they will be chased all the way back to their base. Is it enough? Oh, yes, it is enough to scare them off. Meanwhile, these siege tanks, realizing they're in trouble, are just going to walk right up. There's another stim, and this contain has been busted very, very quickly. Here comes the reserves from Jimmy Bull, as he's now almost, or he is up against the supply cap. As this army walks right through the center of the contain, goes after what few workers are there, draws the army back, and Jimmy Bull, now with a huge supply advantage, but having lost his contain, is now vulnerable. As the production facilities back at home are now churning out dudes as fast as possible. Now this is a huge supply disadvantage here, and this Thor, meanwhile, is hanging out at this Naga Watchtower. And I don't think he's going to be challenged for that anytime soon. Now, more medevacs, another Marauder on the way for Jimmy Bull here. He is at his supply cap, but not at max supply. He's not 200, and look at this mass mules being called down at the main base, the unworked main base, I might add. As are any workers being... Oh, he's at his cap. Can he get new workers out? Meanwhile, tons of tech upgrades happening for me as I try to spend my money as fast as I can. Level 2 infantry armor and weapons. Level 1 mech armor and weapons. Units being produced in everywhere. Meanwhile, 4th base is on the way here. Going to Planetary Fortress. Tons of missile turrets queued up. Meanwhile, still on 3 bases is Jimmy Bull, though he's got 43 workers at his 3rd and next to nothing everywhere else. I think Jimmy Bull's biggest problem here is he could fix his economy issues such as they are. I mean, he's still floating a ton of resources just by transferring these workers. So many workers! So many workers! These 3 aren't even doing anything! Oh, Jimmy Bull. Meanwhile, big schedule from Jimmy Bull. He tries to move in his own little drop. It's not going to go well, and the army will have words. Oh, it's a big doom drop too, but it will be met and intercepted. Oh, this is not good. This is not good for Jimmy Bull. Does he unload? No, he will not. And oh, this is not good. Jimmy Bull, buddy, you are in so much trouble. Fully loaded medevacs being shot down. This will take care of his supply block issues, but will do nothing to alleviate the situation of now he's in a massive army advantage. Now they unload. Now the battle is brought to bear, but the mech advantage is just too much. Banshees, ground troops, Thors, they will have no problems taking out the rest of this army. Meanwhile, this one poor scouting marauder has decided he's going to go toe-to-toe with the Planetary Fortress defended base. And more importantly, here come the rest of the troops to mop that up. Oh, Marauder, you tried your best, failed miserably. Meanwhile, more Marauders and Marines, and here come the battle cruisers. Yes, the battle cruisers are finally about to be operational, but they will be met with Vikings, Hellbats, Banshees, another Raven, more Marines. Now finally being able to cut into these these resources at my supply limit here of 200. 186 to 149 is the supply here. And this is a good move here by the army to stim and loop around the far side, try and catch my army out of position. Certainly they will. But the problem here is that this army is rather angry, and having spent all his money, what does Jimmy Bull do? He finally surely he must know by this point that these SCVs are doing nothing. Oh my goodness, and here we go now at the 4th base. Jimmy Bull's expeditionary force is moving in. Down will go the refinery. The army swings back around to have a look at it. And the Vikings will actually change as the Banshees cloak. And out come the infernally pre-ignited Hellbats to mop up net loss, maybe an SCV, a couple troops, and a refinery. Nothing that can't be recovered. And now I think with all this income, oh, now the SCVs have figured it out. Now the SCVs have finally, but he's taken all his workers. He's taking the ones that were legitimately working the Vespine refinery and taking them. Oh my goodness. Jimmy Bull, what have you done? What have you done, Jimmy Bull? Why are there 62 workers on one command center? Oh, you could move dudes here, and instead he has command center. Where did your other command center... Jimmy, where did your other command... Did he destroy his command center just so he could put a starport down? What is... I don't... Oh, Jimmy Bull. Jimmy Bull, what have you done? Oh, no. He hasn't. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. He's just picked up his main and floated it to his 4th base. You know, no big deal. Meanwhile, mass repairs going on here by the pile of SCVs. He now has a command center in position, but with 4 battle cruisers on the field, this might actually be a good hold for Jimmy, as he has air superiority. But there are Thors in this mixed army, which is kind of parking in the top left-hand corner. No big deal. Might be too much, certainly on pure numbers. 200 to 166 is an army advantage. Level 3 infantry weapons and armor. Level 2 mech weapons and mech armor on the way. No, supply is complete here. This army is not getting any bigger, and it is moving out. It is going for this now empty 3rd base. It is mined out. There's the scan. The missile turrets will soak up, or the Vikings will soak up all the missile turret hits, which will allow the rest of the army to move in. There's the dropping of by the Raven. Also, the medevac soaked him off for repair, but he's still overmining his 4th. And oh, there is this Missile turret, that didn't work as well. And now, with all of the superiority, do the Vikings land? What happens here? They will, looks like, just soak up some hits. Nope, they do land. They do land. And that is going to solve the worker problem one way or another, as the 4th base is now fully surrounded. Siege tanks adding their might, and the Hellbats sweeping up whatever it can. The command center, though, does manage to lift up, seeing all ground weaponry. And here come the Vikings. The Vikings have nothing to attack other than the medevacs, and the rest of the army is all ground-based. So, the Vikings want to attack, they'll have to land, and they will more likely be instantly destroyed. And down goes those air defenses, more units being prepared back at home. Oh, but there is a siege tank firing on this army. Not that it's going to help them, because that's the end of that. Oh, this is going to be horrible for Jimmy Bull. Only 37 army supply to 139 now. This is probably it for Jimmy Bull, as a little stutter stepping brings the army in, taking out his supply reserves, flying away his command centers. Jimmy Bull's out of money. What's his worker situation at here? He has 8 SUVs. Where are those SCVs? They got him to all of this. They're at his bizarrely placed new main. Oh, but Thor's air attack going after the command center. The Vikings now do finally land, but it is going to be too little too late to stop a conga line of death moving up the front door to his main base and ending everything. The command center flies away, but this is a huge wave of death. There goes the last of Jimmy's army. There's the GG from Jimmy Bull. What a match. It had action, it had drama, it had massive Vikings, it had battle cruisers, and it had weird base placements and some 50-odd SCVs on one base. It was incredible. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I know I did. My name is Rituro, and this has been my life in Silver League. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.